Thank you for listening to Discovering the Scriptures with Dr. Peter John Parisis. Currently, we're in Daniel chapter 6, verse 12. First, I will read from the King James Bible. Quote, Then they came near and spake before the king concerning the king's decree. Hast thou not signed a decree, that every man that shall ask a petition of any god or man within 30 days, save of thee, O king, shall be cast into the den of lions? The king answered and said, The thing is true, according to the laws of the Medes and Persians, which altereth not. Unquote. Let's go ahead and go to God in prayer on this verse, seeking that He will give us the wisdom and knowledge that we need, that is right, so we do not go and misconstrue this verse. Dear God, I come to you in prayer, and I thank you for guiding and directing your mercy and your love. Please give us the wisdom and knowledge that we need as we go through the Scriptures and meditate upon them through the day. Help us to be taught aright, and help us to hear the Holy Spirit's teachings. He is our teacher, and to be obedient to Him. I ask now in Jesus Christ's name, and I also ask that you please speak to each one of us that gives the time after the prayers, waiting in honor and reverence to you, that you would speak to them, and me included. In Jesus' name I ask. Sure. Thank you. Need more time? You can hit your pause button. Young's Literal Translation, quote, Then they have come near, yea, they are saying before the king concerning the king's edict, Hast thou not signed an edict, that any man who seeketh from any god or man until 30 days, save of thee, O king, is cast into a den of lions? Answereth hath the king, and said, The thing is certain as a law of Media and Persia, that doth not pass away. Unquote. Now let's go ahead and read this verse in context first, before we go ahead and parse this out. This is written in the paragraph of Daniel 6, verse 11 and 12. Reading from the King James Bible. Quote, Then these men assembled and found Daniel praying and making supplication before his God. Then they came near and spake before the king concerning the king's decree. Hast thou not signed a decree, that every man that shall ask a petition of any god or man within 30 days, save of thee, O king, shall be cast into the den of lions? The king answered and said, The thing is true, according to the laws of the Medes and Persians, which altereth not. Unquote. Man, poor guy. He has no idea he's being set up. Let's parse this out. Then they came near. This is PL stem perfectly aspect. In other words, casually written but completed. And spake. Again, PL, casually written, participle, to be. Before the king, concerning the king's decree, hast thou not signed? PL stem perfectly aspect, casually written, has been completed. A decree that every man that shall ask, PL stem imperfect aspect, so this is casually written but not completed yet, a petition of any god or man within 30 days, save thee, O king, shall be cast. Parse that out. That's an IPL, which is a reflective of the intensive stem, and then imperfect, so it's not been complete yet, into the den of lions. The king answered, casually answering, because it's a PL stem, participle aspect, so to be, and said, again, casually written, PL stem, participle aspect, so to be. The thing is true, according to the law of the Medes and Persians, which altereth, PL stem again, imperfect aspect, casually written, not complete, which altereth not. So he had no idea what these guys were doing. That ends the parsing of this here. Now let's go ahead and go into John Gill's commentary on this and take a look to see what he has to say on this. Quote, Then they came near. They went immediately from Daniel's house to the king's palace and into the king's presence, which they could do either by virtue of his offices or being admitted by the proper officer in waiting, and spake before the king concerning the king's decree. At first they said nothing about Daniel, but about the decree, to get it recognized and afresh ratified and confirmed, lest under some pretense or another the king should change it. Hast thou not signed the decree, that every man that shall ask a petition of any god or man within 30 days, saveth thee, O king, shall be cast in the den of lions? They do not say peremptorily that he had signed such a decree, but put a question to him, that he might have it affirmed by himself. The king answered and said, The thing is true, according to the laws of the Medes and Persians, which altereth not. It is true that such a decree is made and signed, and it is an unalterable one, such as is every established and signed decree of the Medes and Persians. It is as if he had said, It is very true, what you have put in me in mind of, and I will never rescind it, nor nullify or make it void. Unquote. And then it's John Gill's commentary on this verse. Well, one thing you're going to find out as you go through this commentary with me of every verse in the Bible, God willing I live this long to complete this ministry, is that God is going to take care of his people. Whether they live or die, he will take care of what evil people do. They must answer for what they do, no matter what. So any kind of ill-gotten gains gotten wrongly will go through your fingers like water does. You can't hold on to it. So your ill-gotten gain, and you didn't do it right, will go through your fingers like water. So good luck with that. What do you have to show for it? What do they have to show for it? Stay tuned, you're about to find out. But just remember, ill-gotten gain, you cannot hold on to, and you will end up having nothing to show for it. You may have something for now, but you're going to end up having nothing. These are the things I taught my nephew and niece, as they found throughout their life. It is true. And they said, ill-gotten gain. It was looked very, very prosperous then. We have nothing today to show for it. Think about it, people. Think about it. God is not being fooled here. He sees everything that goes on. What's going to happen to Daniel? Stay tuned if you don't know. You're about to find out. God bless you, and please continue to pray for me.